Hi guys, we are back with another episode of Calf Kick Sports. Today we have a very super special episode. Danny, the Colombian warrior Chavez. How you doing, mate? And how goes training at the moment?
Hey man, how you doing? Thank you for having me. Everything is great, man, and I like the name of the podcast, Calf Kick.
Mate.
It's the new kick. It's the new kick out there. You know what I mean? And I feel like I've been one of the guys that has spread that kick around too.
Oh, for sure, man. I mean, I saw your debut and I was like, we're gonna have this guy on at some point for sure. Like your debut, you were literally piecing the guys. You were piecing the guys' calves up, man. Why do you think? I mean, like, I'm just gonna go straight into it. Why do you think calf kicks are such a big thing now?
I think the big thing about it now is because I think calf kicks have been around. I'll say, I believe it's just my own opinion because of what I've seen, and I've been in the game for 15 years.
Yeah.
I learned the calf kick from my coach, Cesar Cornedo. Everybody was kicking the thigh.
Yeah.
And he would talk about kicking the calf because they sweep. He's a capoeira instructor, so they used to sweep each other by kicking the calf, and he realized that there's pain there.
Yeah.
And he's like, bro, it hurts when people get hit by the calf. So we started working on that. And I think what became now is that it became very popular because Dustin Poirier used it against McGregor.
Yeah.
Such a famous big fight. So, because the calf kick was there before that. If you noticed it, Ricardo Lamas used to do it.
Yes.
Luis Palomino Baboon used to do it. You had guys like at one point Ben Henderson was using it.
Yeah.
In the like around the time that he was fighting Frankie Edgar. So you saw the calf kick, but nobody really noticed it.
Yeah.
How effective it is until Dustin Poirier did it to McGregor. It was such a big fight that when people saw McGregor lost in May, and in the interview, McGregor talked about, I didn't expect how painful the calf kick was. Yeah. Everybody started practicing it. Yeah. Everybody started practicing it. And that was very famous because if you don't know how painful the calf kick is, it really hurts, man. It's a game changer right now.
Yeah, I mean, it affects some kind of nerve or something if you hit it enough. And, I've seen it a few times, fighters just end up getting drop foot. It's crazy because, Edson Barboza, he was quite, famous utilizer of calf kicks, as you mentioned, Benson. And now it's just everywhere. You got the calf kicks everywhere. Like, it's just a game changer. You see this in nearly every event, how it affects outcomes of fights and stuff. Would you say that's I mean, like, I know that's not your, I wouldn't say that's your best kick though. Your best kick is probably a hook kick, no?
No, my best kick, if I was to really give it I say the calf kick is my best kick because yes, I do the wheel kick a lot.
Yeah.
I haven't been as effective with it. I have thrown it. I have missed. I have landed, but people have blocked it. So I really haven't So the calf kick is something that I could really effectively land. And I think I do it very different than everybody else.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they like to step in to throw the calf kick. I don't step in. You don't see, if you see me step in, it's a very tiny step.
Yeah.
Exactly, because it telegraphs it. And people now, just like a good move comes out, there's always going to be a good counter to it. People are going to figure it out. How do I block this? Or how do I avoid this kick? Or how do I counter this kick? And if you step in too close to the person, you're going to get right cross. And somebody's going to eat that calf kick, and they're going to hit you with a right cross. So you can't step into that kick. Not like that. You know what I mean? Because the thing is that when you throw a thigh kick, your body tends to lean back as you throw the kick. So sometimes you miss that right cross. But in the calf kicks, and you got to kick lower, you tend to stand. Your stance is a little bit more... your stance is different, so it's a little bit less lean back. So you could get cross, you could get counter on that. There is ways to avoid that kick too. You know what I mean? It's not like I said, it's a game changer, but like people are starting to like figure it out what to do with it, or how to take that away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, even the debut you had, you did it so much, the guy switched stances and then he couldn't you know, he's not as effective in the stance that he was at in Southpaw. I thought it was a great fight, man. It was brilliant. But you know, just moving forward, I mean, the last fight you had, obviously, that ended in a draw, quite a bit of controversy. In the second round, you know, you took a nasty eye poke, man. I mean, like, I was surprised that you were able to continue after that. It shows you that you're a warrior, man. But yeah, you took the eye poke. Then literally 30 seconds later, after Herb was like, look, I'm going to take more than 1 point away. I'm not going to just take 1 point. I might take 2 points away, like kind of insinuating that. Then you got a groin strike. I mean, that was just great. I mean, how compromised do you feel? I mean, like, I know you don't want to make like too many excuses or whatever, but did you feel like you were quite compromised for the rest of that fight?
You know, to be honest, not really. I think like I was compromised after the fight was over, like me on a daily basis, you know, because at that moment there's so much adrenaline.
Yeah.
If I would have, I would say as long as I was able to open my eye, I was fine. What happened is that my eye, what really happened is that, and thank God he didn't scratch anything major like the cornea or anything, he didn't really like he hurt my eye.
Yeah.
What really happened is that when I went in with a hook cross,
yeah,
my body was stepping forward. He went to get to like avoid. I guess he was gonna do something, and then he regretted because he saw me coming, and he went like this to stick his hand out. So what happened is that me coming in and him putting his hand out, my eye met his finger. So what happened is that he dent my eye back in. So what really hurt, what had me on the floor, was that I felt pain on my brain. It was because he dent my eye in. Like it's not that he just scratched my eye in the front. It's that he pushed my eye in, and that's what really was hurting. That's what I was on the floor.
Yeah.
Then I realized I couldn't open my eye, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" Did he close my eye? I'm like, "Damn!" Because the pain. I would say like about 5 minutes. Yeah, the pain was going. The pain went away. Now I just couldn't open my eye. And I was like, "What's going on? I cannot open my eye." And I was telling the doctor, I'm like, "Yo, can you give me some water to see if I can rinse it off and see if the eye opens up?" They bring me like a little towel with water, and I was like, "Whoa." You know, I was trying to pour some water, but whatever.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm cleaning it, and then little by little started opening and started seeing through the eye. And I'm like, okay. So I clean it again, and I'm like, and I'm able to see. And I was like, because I kept telling the doctor and I kept telling her, Dean, I'm like, I just need to open my eye. I'm like, I feel fine already. Like I don't feel, but I just can't open my eye. And I wasn't blinking either. You know what I mean? I wasn't blinking. It was more like just that moment. That moment, my eye was hurting. But once I was able to open my eye, I was able to see clear. So I wouldn't call myself so compromised because I feel like I was able to. I feel like I was able to see clear again. The only thing that you say is that it changes a little bit the fight because the point was that I knew Kamaka took this fight in a 2-week notice.
Yeah.
So I wanted to put the pressure on him. I wanted to make him a little tired.
Yes.
You know, and by him doing that, I gave him so much time to recover. So he's walking from side to side, and I'm like, damn, man, this is not. He's the fight's not playing the way it was supposed to because not only that, and true, I'll say something. If it wasn't because I just feel like that wasn't gonna get to me, but yes, a lot of people were getting poked in the eye. They start feeling like they started feeling like they're in a disadvantage right now. They mentally they start feeling like, damn, nothing is going right, or what the hell? Oh, that's it, poke me in my eye. I'm at a disadvantage. I didn't really look at it that once I was able to open my eye. If my eye wasn't able to open like that, or if I would have opened it, but I would have been blinking and blinking, then I would say that. But my eye didn't blink after that.
Yeah.
I would say after the fight, yes, my eye was like the next day, my eye was small. I couldn't really see, so I was able to see, but it was annoying. And then I had to go to the eye doctor, and they told me I just had like a laceration on the bottom, and they gave me some eye drops. They told me like to come back. All I was like, the only thing was bothering me was like for like a couple of days, like I know not days, weeks. I'll see like a bright light just go by.
Oof.
And I'll be like, what the hell? So when I went to the doctor, he told me that that's normal. Cause I have to go again. I was like, I'm seeing a bright light. like constantly. Like I'll be looking away and boom, I see like a bright light just pass by. And he told me, I know that's normal when your eye goes through. He just explained to me everything, but he told me that was normal. So, cause I was getting paranoid. I'm like, bro, I don't want to. You never know, man. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's scary, man. I've had an eye injury before. I used to work in a lab. It was so stupid. I got like some acid or some chemical in my eye. And I thought I was actually
Yeah,
literally going to lose my eye. So, I mean, I've not been poked in the eye or been in a fight like that. But yeah, I mean, I hate anything like eye injury wise. It's a little scary, isn't it? You're almost like I could be blind or something like that, you know?
yeah. That's what you think. You think about your health. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But at
yeah.
the moment of the fight, like I told you, like it was different. Now the groin shot, to be very honest, I felt it for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I felt it. I felt it for like 10. I can't give it a time, but it was like it wasn't so bad. I had a good cup. I feel like if I had a bad cup, he would have hurt me more. I
Yeah.
feel like I felt it. It was like a. If everybody has ever wear a cup, it's protecting you everywhere. But the only thing that could bounce is on your private, like on your balls.
Yeah,
If,
yeah,
if,
yeah,
if,
yeah.
if the cup bounces, it
Yeah.
normally just kind of like taps you there. And for us, only guys can relate to this. The, you don't need a hard kick to hurt you there.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
you
of
need is to
course.
tap it.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is like I tell people, is like all you need is like a minor touch at the right spot on
Yeah.
on, on your balls, and you drop.
Yeah,
It's just the
yeah.
right spot. I felt it, but like I said, there's so much adrenaline that I was like, okay, no, like I'm good, I'm good. And at the same time, like I'm telling you, I just didn't want to give him so much of a break,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he was having a lot. And I think that would say that played a little. That could have played a little factor, but it is what it is.
yeah.
I don't like making excuses
No,
for
no, of
any
course not. Of
any
course not.
fight. You know.
Was your plan to kind of just finish him in the third because you wanted to get him tired? You wanted to put him into deep waters, and was it just to go into the third round and just try and finish the guy, like or something
Second
like
or
that?
third round. Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
if you
yeah,
know, at the beginning of the first round, I wrestled him. He got up quick.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh, I, Second round, I was trying to go there first. I first was looking for the striking. Third round, I started looking for the wrestling again, but he turned me around, put me in the wall. When I finally got off the wall, I kept going for it, trying to see if he gave me something. It didn't work out. At the same time, like I said, it was just such a different fight
yeah,
because one, I didn't really. I had 2 weeks for him. Same as him. He only had 2 weeks for me.
yeah, yeah. Of course, yeah,
He focused on calf kicking me. You know what I mean? I was getting calf kicked in that fight. I didn't see coming. I really thought he was gonna box me more. I think
mm,
his previous fights. I watched two of them.
yeah,
I debuted it the same day he debuted. He debuted against Tony Kelly,
yeah,
while I debuted against TJ Brown, and I watched him fight. And I saw him fight TJ Brown, somebody I fought already. So I saw that fight too, and very boxing oriented in a
yeah,
way.
yeah,
Comes in with his hands. But he didn't do that with me.
yeah,
He
yeah,
started. He just came in to kick. You know what I mean? And it was weird because, and even when the few times that he tried to strike with me, it wasn't like the pressure I thought he was gonna put. Like
yeah.
I thought he was gonna walk me down. I thought he was gonna put me in the against, like, fight against the cage. It wasn't really like that kind of fight.
Mm,
He tried to counter me too.
yeah.
It was the completely different fight that I trained for those 2 weeks for him.
Yeah,
So
I mean, you got really fast hands, so maybe he was just thinking, I'm just gonna try and just kick him or just like calf kick him. That must have been a game plan from his side or something. But
he saw it happen. He saw that he landed the first kicks. And once you see like something is effective, you're gonna stick to it.
yeah, yeah. That's literally what Dustin did. He just saw that, McGregor was not checking any of those calf kicks. He just kept going on and on and on. But yeah, I mean, just going back to the eye poke situation, obviously that's a common thing in MMA. You've always got eye pokes. Now, in Pride FC, you had like completely different gloves where it's a bit more closed off. Do you feel like in the UFC they just need to change the glove design, or is it something that it's gonna? Do you think it should change, basically?
You know, I don't think so. I really think the glove is perfect.
Yeah,
I just think is the fighter. The fighter's gotta know how to keep their hands closed, and that's about it.
yeah,
That's literally about about it. It's hard. It's hard because at a moment, sometimes it's good to put your hand out, like to kind of like push them away. So I understand when those things happen. You know what I mean? Look, man, before anybody worries about changing the glove, they need to just change the judges and find some better way. Like why are we changing something that no sport is perfect.
Yeah,
You're gonna have flaws in the sport. It's like no sport is perfect. So I think the glove is fine. Those things are gonna happen. It's just like you know. Like what are you gonna do? Change the shoes in basketball? People still tweak their ankles. You know what I mean? People are still tweaking their ankles.
Yeah.
In soccer, you got cleats. People still get injuries through cleats. You go for a nasty slide and you hit the person's ankle. You're gonna might take him out for a couple of weeks. Those cleats are hard. You know what I mean? Like you cannot take everything away. It's kind of like football now. You know what I mean? You gotta be. They try to fix it to a point where like, oh, you can't even touch the quarterback anymore. You know what I mean? So what's the point of having a pass rusher if he can't even touch the goddamn quarterback now? Well, that's supposed to be his job. You know what I mean? And in MMA, you can't do that because you're gonna take away an element. What if those gloves, like, what are you gonna do? Make them more close? Like, look, I have a small pinky. If you make those gloves smaller, like get closer, then you're gonna leave my pinky out. I mean, like my pinky's not gonna be able to grip.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
No, you need to leave your fingers out to be able to grip, unless you're gonna cover the fingers. But if you cover the fingers, it doesn't feel natural grips. You know what I mean? It feels like you will have a little help because of the material. You want to be as natural as you can. And remember, the glove is not there to protect the other person. The glove is there to protect my hand. You know what I mean? So I think people just needs to know how to close your fingers. It's not a big deal. And I feel like people focus so much on certain things that, no, man, why don't we just focus on something else, like the judges? Like, can we make a change? Can we change that? Instead of changing the glove, let's change that,
I feel like some judges don't even know what the hell they're doing, man. Like, I don't know if you saw the Davy Grant fight yesterday with Adrian Yanez, but if you get a chance to watch it, because they gave Davy Grant like 30-27, and it's like, what the absolute fuck, man? Like, it's crazy. And there is an argument for open scoring. I feel like there should be some kind of open scoring, but that again, that might just kind of cause a whole bunch of other problems, isn't it?
Yeah, because open scoring, it means you want to know where you at, but then it's kind of like the problem about open scoring, and I think like that's gonna be the problem for fighters and for promotional for promotion is gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
Why? Because if I find out let's say I had a tough first round, but it was close, but I know I won.
Yeah.
Then the second round, I won a little bit more easier than the first round. Then the third round, I'm on a cruise.
Yeah. But the other guy will do that. The other guy will push me.
Why am I gonna take chances to get caught, to get, that's what takes away from the fight, that you wouldn't know. So you're gonna see people run away a lot in the third rounds. A lot of the third rounds are gonna be
It's true. Yeah.
They're gonna run away in the third rounds. Third rounds are not gonna be people trying to like really get that round. It's gonna be like, oh, I know I won this round because I already know that. When you go to a second round, or even going to a third, from a second to a third, when you had a tough round and it was very close, but you won, that's different. The thing is that when you don't know you won, when you go into a third round, and I know my guy had won the second, but I don't know about the first. I think the first could have been gone to the other guy. I have to tell him to win that third.
Yeah.
But if I know, because that's technically a coach's evaluation, that he needs to know what does he believe that first one was about. He needs to know, do you believe your guy won, or you don't? Because when they're close rounds, both corners think that their guy's edging it.
Yeah.
So, so you're always gonna have that. But what if you do find out your guy did edge it? So you're gonna tell him, like, relax in that third round. You won the first, you won the second. Relax in the third round. You don't gotta be looking for something else. He needs to win. He needs to, look for something. And it could, and like I said, for promotion, they're gonna lose a lot of like moments. People are gonna
Yeah.
start like, yeah, you're gonna lose moments like that. And then just in the fight too, I feel like the fight is gonna start becoming more more of a point system type of
Yeah.
fighter
Yeah, it would
instead
be.
of really trying to go out there and win the fight, and that could really hurt you.
Yeah, I mean, there is the argument. I mean, on the flip side of that, say if someone knows they're down 2 rounds, they might just come out like a dog in heat in the third round. But I tend to agree, if you've got like someone who's already coasting a little bit, he might just think, fuck this, man, I'm just gonna run away, or just,
You gotta win the fight.
yeah,
At the end of the day, you gotta win the fight, and you have to understand, like, we had a tough first round. I don't know if I won that round, and it was a tough first round. Like we both hurt each other.
yeah,
Then I go to the second round, and let's say I got to win it because I got to take him down, and there was not so much action, but I got. If you could go to a third round knowing the first 2 rounds were mine, why am I gonna get into a crazy war again after I just had one in the first round? Like nobody wants to put themselves all the time in those positions, but we will put ourselves there if we need to win the fight, if we need to edge the fight, if we need to win those extra points. But if you don't, because like I said, so we don't know what happened in that first round.
yeah,
That makes you want to go out there and fight that third round, just like the first round in a way, So you're gonna make if that becomes part of, you're gonna make fighters get a little bit soft, I think,
yeah,
because eventually they're gonna start just trying to win 2 rounds, not three.
yeah,
You're gonna take away some of that fighter in him, like that animal instinct. You know what I mean? Like that like, yo, we're down. We don't know what happened in the first round. We won the second. This could be 1-1. You need to win this third, and he has to find that in him, like, or to win that third. So,
yeah,
but
yeah. No,
if you
I mean
don't,
that's a great answer. I mean, I've
if you
never seen
don't,
kind of an argument against open scoring. Most of the time, a lot of people are for it, but that does definitely make sense. But yeah, I mean, just changing gears a little bit, I kind of want to go back into, your upbringing a little bit. So, I know you were raised in Bogota, Colombia. You
yes,
were there for most of your childhood. And, obviously, Bogota, Colombia, a very cultural place, loads of museums, art galleries, blah, 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 all that kind of good stuff. But then in the early 90s, it had a reputation for having, there's a lot of crime there as well. How did that affect you as a kind of fighter or as a person living in an area like that? It must have been beautiful, but at the same time, you must have seen some crazy stuff as well.
I lived in there's 6 sections in Colombia,
Yeah.
and it goes from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The lower you are, that means you're more down the south. That means,
Okay.
it's a little bit more of the poor area. I
Yeah.
lived in 2 and 3, 2 and 3. I was always hopping from 2 and 3. I never got to live in area 1. Area
Mm,
1 is like straight, just horrible places.
really?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
2 and 3 is bad, is the ghetto. 4, yeah, you're doing good. And 5 and 6, you're great. You're living a good life. You know what I
Mm,
mean? It's
yeah.
like crime is crime. The country is what it is. But you're just in the better neighborhoods. You know what I mean? You're in better neighborhoods. You know, I'll be honest. Growing up over there, it was different. I was a kid, so
Mm,
technically, like me, even growing up as the '90s as a kid, there, you're not really as worried as how the city is. Like my parents were and my aunts were. They were worried about how the city is and how the country is at the moment. Me as a kid, it doesn't really affect me. Did I see things? Yes, but it was different for me as a kid. I didn't really like paid attention. You know what I'm trying to say?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you saw people, like you walk down the street. In Colombia is different. Like I walked a lot as a little kid. Like I'll go from my house to my aunt's house, which it was like, let's say, walking like 20 minutes away. And I was like 7 years old, 8 years old, just walking all the way to my aunt's house. Like
Oh,
you
that's
don't
quite
see kids,
significant.
yeah, but you don't see kids do that nowadays.
No,
They're
no,
very
no,
careful,
no.
especially like I'm in Miami, so you don't see my nephews and nieces walk to the supermarket by themselves at that age. You're crazy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's crazy how like in our country it was like normal. It's normal. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
hear?
yeah.
And on the way there, you see crazy people in the streets, kids doing drugs, um, kids trying to rob you. You know, I got stopped a couple of times, kids trying to rob me, you know, while I'm walking.
Damn.
And they ain't trying to rob that much. I didn't have that much. I didn't have anything. I didn't have no brand clothing or anything like that, but they just want to take the only dollar you got. You know what I mean? So it
Yeah.
is what it is. Um, but I wouldn't say it affected me because I feel like I said, I was raised from 7 to 14.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw a lot of stuff, but I don't think it affected me because I wasn't working. I was not an adult yet. I think as an
Yeah, yeah.
adult, you get to you get to really feel what's going on in the country more when you become an adult. As a kid, only if it affects me, if it affects schools, if it's affecting like education,
Yeah.
eh, those things could probably affect me. But in general, like I, you hear bad news all the time because everybody in my country, for example, they're always watching the news, and there's
Yeah.
nothing but bad news. The news are nothing but negative stuff. I
It
don't watch
is,
the news.
yeah.
It's
You
really
can't sell
depressing.
news with the positivity at the end of the day. You can't. You just can't.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
everything has always been like that, and you know, like I said, I was a kid. I saw a lot of stuff, but it didn't. I wouldn't say affect. It made me more like cautious. Like it made me more like because like I'm telling you, I used to see kids just sniffing glue. You know what I mean? And I
Mhm.
don't mean sniffing like for their nose. They put it in a bag and they just breathe it, and that takes their hunger, but it gives them high as well. It's a
Yeah.
drug, you know what I mean? And more like poor people do that to take away their hunger. I used to watch that a lot. Just walking by, you see a kid just doing that, and it was crazy. And it
Mm.
like I said, it took me it set on me like I never I knew what it was. I'm like, oh, this is a kid on drugs, but I didn't really pay attention. I was like, oh, just don't ever do that. You know what I mean? That's all you know. Just don't do it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know? And that's what like kept me away. Me seeing these things since little, I think it just kept me away from that kind of lifestyle and that kind of stuff, you know?
That's good. So it kind of gave you a positive influence. You're like, look, I'm not
Yes,
gonna
a
do this.
hundred. Yes.
Yeah, because yeah, I know what you mean. Because I've lived in East London. I'm not too sure if you know much about East London, but there's some rough areas out there. And yeah, I lived in a pretty rough area as well. And I think seeing all those things have just made me realize, look, I'm not gonna do these things. So it can either affect you in a positive way or negative way. It's just
Yeah.
how you take it at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, because you got people that will use that environment as the reason why they are the way they are.
Yeah.
And you got people that will be doing bad stuff and they'll be like, oh, but I was raised this way. And it's not right because it's not true because
Yeah.
I was raised in the same environment. I just didn't make those choices.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's just about how you handle things. So, I mean, after 14, you moved to Miami. When did the love of martial arts come in? And when did you realize, look, I want to be a fighter, like as a profession?
Well, fighting has always been something I really liked. Me
Yeah.
growing up watching fighting anime, I love animation. I
Hey,
love
you like
Japanese
anime,
anime.
nice.
I love anime, and
Nice.
and if you really think about it, anime is fun because most of the anime is fighting.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. It is.
it's some sort type of fighting. It's either with powers, either it's fighting skills or weapons, swords, guns. But it's always about fighting. It's always about protecting the weak, being the best.
Yeah.
Protecting your planet, whatever it is. You know what I mean? But it's always like those kind of like same morals and stuff. And I grew up watching that a lot. I grew up watching a lot of fighting movies.
Yeah.
I watched growing up in the '90s. I watched nothing but Jean-Claude Van Damme,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
to me,
yeah.
all Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, I was like, "Yo, this is fire! This is fire!" And I thought he was like the best fighter in
Kickboxing.
the world. You know what I mean? And as a kid, you think that he's the best fighter in the world. So yes, I watched some Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan and all that, but they were more. I don't know. I really thought Jean-Claude Van Damme was the best fighter in the world. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
same. Same. I thought he was untouchable. I
That,
was born in the 80s as well. So I was like, yeah, man, Jean-Claude Van Damme is the man. And then you grow up and you're like, oh, he's actually not a professional fighter.
yeah. And I was like, oh, this is all choreography. Damn. But that really was like those are like the reasons I was just I think like me just liking it from as a growing up with it, I think it made it even easier for me to like really get into it. When
Yeah,
I found out there was a way to make a living off of this. It was meant to be for me.
Yeah. Is there any animes that do you still watch animes?
Yeah.
Or is it just what are you watching anything like recently? Like just to kind of unwind or
Oh, my most recent anime was Attack on Titan.
man, that's awesome.
Uh,
Yeah, I like that stuff.
that's my favorite show. Even though my number one was growing up as a kid is Dragon Ball Z, which
Yeah,
right now is Dragon Ball Super.
yeah.
Uh, I watch a lot of anime right now. I'll say something new that I'm watching. No, I haven't gotten into anything new. People are
Yeah.
sending me, my friends send me a lot of stuff right now. Like, oh, try this. Arcane.
I've heard of that. Yeah,
I
someone
heard of that.
suggested to me as well.
People are trying to tell me Dr. Stone. I heard of that.
Yeah,
So people are telling me Hunter x Hunter.
that's good.
So
That's good. Yeah, that's really good.
I gotta start giving them some of them a try. I literally just finished like I just got into that's what I'll go to like Demon Slayer and
Yeah,
Jujutsu Kaisen. So those are the ones that right now, like the newest ones that I'm really watching. I'm just waiting for the new episodes. But I watch a lot of reruns too. Like I like to go back and watch old episodes from the ones that I've already liked.
yeah, yeah.
But I'm gonna start something new this in these days coming up. Like I want to see something new. You know what I mean? And most likely, um, I don't know, between Hunter x Hunter or Dr. Stone. Because Arcane looks cool, but it
Yeah,
looks very 3D. It looks
yeah,
very
yeah.
it doesn't look drawing. I like drawings. I like,
Yeah, yeah, same. I'm
you know
a
what I mean?
fan of
I like
artwork.
drawings. That one looks more computer what's it called, the
Computer generated CGI or something like that.
CGI. There you go. You could
Yeah,
there's a lot of CGI, so let's see. Let's
yeah.
see.
It takes away from that traditional kind of art style, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, yes, 100%. If you look at if you look at the last Demon Slayer movie, it was beautiful, and I think some of them had to do with, yeah, of course, some of it was CGI, but some had to do with some drawing, you know. And I like when it's drawing. Like if you look at the last movie from Dragon Ball Z, which was a Broly movie, there was a lot of drawing in that movie. I heard, and
yeah,
that's why it looked so great. But it looked amazing. That, to me, that movie, the graphics, everything just looked perfect. So you know, we need to go back sometimes to the old school era when everything was, was
yeah, yeah.
drawing
It's
it.
all changed, man.
Everything is computer. So it's like it just takes away some of that art, some of that look.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's all changing now, isn't it? But yeah, it would be
Yeah.
nice to kind of have that back again. But I mean, changing gears a little bit. I mean, I mean, I know you mentioned a few things about some of your MMA influences or anime, and you've always been into fighting. Was there a particular person that you looked at and you're like, that's the guy, man. I want to be this guy growing up, or is it just anyone really like you just looked up to in terms of professional fighting?
Oh yeah. To this day, I consider him the best fighter in the world, and that's George St. Pierre.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
know, George St. Pierre to me was like the perfect example,
yeah,
not only as how you're supposed to fight, but how you're supposed to carry yourself as an athlete,
yeah,
everything. He was very into researching, always making sure he never tried to just guess things. He really like,
yeah,
he's a student of the game, and I really picked up after him.
yeah,
Um, even my fighting style, uh, became a little bit like him. I was not as much of a striker that I am now. I was more of I had good striking, but I used to always use it to try to get the takedown and trying to
mm,
get people to the ground
yeah,
and beat them in positionings and all that stuff. And then as the time went, I started using my striking more to like hurt people, you know what I mean? And I just think my style changed. But Joseph Pierre was like the guy that I had a lot of different idols. Matt Hughes was one of my idols. Horace Gracie, watching him grow up, it was one of my
yeah,
idols. Um, I Crow Cop, I used to like
yeah.
Shogun,
He's awesome, man.
Sakuraba, a lot of those Pride guys, Chuck Liddell, Rich Franklin. I
Yeah,
watched a lot of old school. I grew up with watching them, as and then you got the new generation fighters, and you had like the Anderson Silva that came in, and even then you got the new generation fighters like Max Holloway. You
yeah,
got Jose Aldo. You got a bunch of guys now that you really look and you're like they're amazing. You know what I mean? Um,
yeah.
But me growing up, George St. Pierre, I will always say, and I met him one time.
Oh,
I met him
really?
one time.
Nice.
It
How
was
did that
crazy.
happen?
It was in my gym.
Yeah.
I guess he called to use the gym. I guess he was gonna he was in Miami and he needed a place to just use like an area, like a space.
Yeah.
So I go. I'm in the water fountain. I'm drinking water, and right next to the water fountain is the bathroom door. So I see the door open, but I just feel the door is opening, and somebody just got it right next to me, like waiting for me to stop drinking water so he could drink to it for his turn. So I'm drinking, and I could just see like his body. Somebody's there next to me, but I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
So as soon as I'm done drinking, I go look, and as soon as I see him, it was George St. Pierre, and I was like, whoa. Like I got like shocked. I was like, whoa. And he goes, hey man, how you doing, George? And I'm like, yeah, man, how you doing? I know
I'm
who you are.
George, because I know who you are.
I know who you are. You don't know who I am. Let me tell you who I am. You know what I mean? You don't know who I am. I'm a big fan. Danny. No, but I was like, oh man, nice to meet you, Danny. Big fan. And he's like, thank you. And he just got, and very humble guy. You know, then I went to the mat. He was just using the cage with like a wrestler. It was him and like some friend, and they were just both wrestling, doing the thing. I was just running. I was just doing the class on the mats, and I couldn't stop looking at the cage. I kept like we'll be doing some drills, and I just be like looking at Joseph Pierre. He was almost like a perfect fighter. If you looked
Yeah,
at
yeah.
him, he was like his body was well proportioned. He's 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 like he's perfect. In the sense
Yeah.
of like as a fighter, as an athlete, is a guy who's not who. Why would you not look up to that guy? Like that's just how it goes. You know what I mean? Like this guy, because it's not only that he's a great talented guy, but he depended on hard work. He was a hard worker. Look,
Yeah.
right now, I follow George St. Pierre on Instagram and I watch his stories a lot. And he's 40 years old. Still looks better than a lot of 20-year-olds.
Yeah, yeah.
He's 40 years old and he doesn't stop training. That guy still does pool workouts. He's always posting something about him working out. That guy's a work machine. Like, if he really wants to right now, he could probably come out of retirement and still go out there and win fights. Like, if he really wants to.
I think so, man. I think so. I think he would even, I mean, he's 40, so let's not go crazy. But I mean, I
Yeah, but
wouldn't disbelieve.
40.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's a different 40 because
He's a different 40, isn't it? He is, yeah.
Yeah, because you have to understand that he's 40, but he's yes, he got a lot of mileage in his body of training and all stuff, but the guy eats well. The guy he doesn't do drugs that we know of. He's never been a party animal. Nobody ever heard of him. I've been in the MMA community is very small, and so you hear things.
Yeah, yeah.
I never heard rumors of Justin Pierre doing drugs, going crazy, anything like that. And if you look at his fights, he took care of himself a lot. A lot of those fights went to the ground. He dominated from the top. He didn't really get hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I've seen some like he's not Diego Sanchez. You know what I'm trying to say? Like
Yeah.
Diego Sanchez went through some wars, some real wars. Like I'm talking about, like he went through. I would say 2 of Diego Sanchez fights could make up for all the damage that Justin Pierre took in his whole career.
Agreed, yeah. Like the Gilbert Melendez fight, was ridiculous, man. That was
amazing fight.
It's a great fight. I loved it. Yeah.
The Clay Guida fight, the Martin Kampman fight.
That was nuts, man.
Bro, I think he fought Carol Parisian too.
Yeah,
Back in the day, it was a crazy fight. He just had some wars where you're like, yeah, man, like that's Diego Sanchez, bro.
Yeah. No, I love Diego, but you're right, man. He's taken so much damage, and when you look at George St. Pierre, I'd say he was probably one of the most, the first cerebral fighter. Like he used this more so than like his fists or, like it was all about the mindset. And what I really liked about George is he would take people out of their element. Like if you're a striker, he'll put you on your back. If you're a wrestler, he'll make sure that he'll keep the fight standing and beat you standing. And
exactly.
Yeah.
He was a student of the game, like I kept saying. He's just a student of the game, and he was so perfect at executing game plans.
Yeah, definitely. And I like the fact that he was a real martial artist. Like he had respect and all that. He wouldn't do any crazy stuff like a lot of other people, which I'm not going to mention. But yeah, I mean, in terms of so that's your biggest MMA influence. But yeah, going back to kind of training a little bit. So you're training the MMA Masters at the moment. How's training there at the moment? I know Colby's there as well. You know, you probably get this question a few times, but you know, how is Colby as a how is he like there? I like Colby, by the way. I actually do like Colby genuinely.
Well, you know, look, man, you know, all fighters, McGregor, Colby, everybody, you know, when they get off that cage, they're who they are as a person. Great,
Yeah.
every I'll say 90 something percent of the MMA fighters are really nice people.
Yeah,
Humble guys, family people. You're gonna have a douchebag here and there that you really be like, okay, yeah, you're a piece of shit. You are exactly what you show on TV. You know what I mean? But you got a lot of guys that is just selling the fight. And Colby to me is a very, very nice guy. You know what I mean? When I first met him, I expected a little bit of that kind of guy.
yeah. Really?
A complete opposite person.
Yeah.
Very, very well soft-spoken type of guy. Nice, good vibe, positive. Like, you know, I train with Colby. I'll tell you this. I train with Colby 3 times the whole 2 years, year and a half, I'm about to be 2 years at MMA Masters.
Yeah.
I train with Colby 3 times. I rode with him 3 times. I spoken to him a little bit more than when we trained because we talk and he gives me a lot of tips. Like I'll be honest, like he gives me a lot of tips. Like for example, I feel like one of my fights I think I overtrained. I feel like I overtrained. Like you know, I'm old school, so I like to train a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he'll tell me like, yo, you look tired, go home. And I'm like, huh? I'm like, no, I gotta do another session. And he's like, you shouldn't. You just go home and rest. You got another day. Tomorrow, put in that session. But if you're gonna burn out, then you're not gonna have energy for the next days. And he'll tell me things like that. I'll be like, I couldn't question it. You know, like you know what, like you know, you have reached the you have reached the goals that we all want to reach. You've been a champion.
Yeah.
You know what being in the top, so you must know something, you know. So I'm the kind of guy. I'm the kind of guy that may sound a little, I want to say arrogant or anything, but somebody that's been in the game longer than me or have achieved more than me, I'll listen to them. You know what I'm saying? I'm just that kind of guy. Somebody that hasn't, it's hard for me to listen to them. It's kind of like saying, taking advice from a young person or somebody older. You know, it's kind of like the person that's older and has experience and is wiser. Most likely, I'm going to listen to them. You know what I'm trying to say? Than a 20-year-old that's just started living life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Of course.
So it's kind of like that. So I listen to a lot of people that have been doing what I'm doing for either a longer time or have reached, has reached has reached goals that I'm trying to reach. You know what I mean? So I listen to him, and you know, like I said, we're not like friends like that, but we're friends. You know, we're cool, and you know, for him to have the relationship that I have with him, he my last fight with Kamaka, he sent me like a text, sent me a message on Instagram. You know, hey, go get what's yours, blah 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 blah. And I was like, damn, that's pretty cool, man. That
Oh,
was
he
really,
did. That's really nice of him.
that was pretty cool because you know, when in this sport, you know, it's always it always feels good when someone, you know, like I said, especially someone that has reach, so come and gives you like a little, you know, a little support. It makes you feel even better, more confident. It's you know, sometimes we don't know how much influence we have on others.
Yeah,
You
of
know,
course.
especially like us as fighters, as older fighters or fighters with bigger names. We don't sometimes don't know how much we could influence someone that is like starting or you know is getting their feet wet and stuff. So, and like I said, no, he's an amazing person. So far that I know of, you know, no complaints about him. You know, and our gym is always, you know, all gyms are gonna have their ups and downs, but to me, my gym, we are very you're very unique gym. We're very teamwork. You know, we now. You know, I don't know how other gyms work. You know what I mean? I think every gym has their own, like I said, everybody has their own ups and downs and everything.
Yeah.
But what I like about my team is that we are very united. Like look, Kobe doesn't really train with everybody. You know, there's a lot of people in the team, but we all got together and we watched Kobe. We're cheering for him because you know, only because it's Kobe, it's because it's from the not only because it's from the team, but we all, like I said, we are like a nice little family. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
say little because, hey, it's like what, like 20, 30 of us. And the good thing is like, nobody there is like, nobody there is only for themselves. We are here to help each other. And that's like the good thing, because in this sport, we are alone in that cage. But to get to that cage, that moment, it takes a lot of teamwork.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It may not. It's not a team game. We're not playing in teams. We're not in. The only moment there's a little team part is the coaches are in your corner. That's the only moment. But in that moment, inside the cage is just you. It's more individual sport at that moment.
Yeah.
But to get to that moment is a lot of teamwork, and that's what we have, and I like it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And I mean, I feel like, I mean, obviously with Colby's situation, he actually was, publicly, a nice guy figure before the Damian Maia fight. And classically, they just said, look, we're going to cut you regardless of the result. And then that's when he decided to turn heel. So he's really just a product of the UFC, to be honest, in all honesty. They probably
They
wanted a heel
created
kind
him.
of character.
They
So was that?
created him.
Yeah,
They
yeah, yeah.
created him.
Yeah, they created the monster, man. So, who you gonna blame? You're gonna blame Colby or the
You know
UFC?
what's crazy? How we didn't even he probably didn't even know he had that in him.
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy, isn't it?
Because,
Yeah.
well, sometimes he is funny. He said some funny stuff. Hi nerds and virgins. That shit's funny. You know what I mean? He gives people nicknames. You
Oh
know,
man.
he called this guy Kamshot Shamai or whatever. He fake Marty Newsman. I don't know.
Yeah,
Fake
Rafael
news.
dos Nachos is one of my favorites.
What is it again? What is it again?
Rafael dos Anjos, you call him that Rafael dos Nachos.
Those not, yeah, like he just comes up with some funny. Some of them could be a little cringy and corny, but he comes up with some funny ones. And sometimes he says funny shit. But I wonder, like, he wasn't gonna have that unless like I said, he was pushed. He got pushed to do this at one
Yeah,
point because, like I said, he was gonna. You said it right now. He was gonna get cut, so he
yeah,
felt like, fuck it, I'm gonna have to be the bad guy now because
yeah,
being the good guy, I'm about to get cut.
yeah,
So he became the bad guy. But what I'm saying is like, let's say he would have tried to become the bad guy, but not being good at becoming the bad guy. Let's say he would have been too cringy,
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah,
people don't buy into it. But he
yeah.
did it. He did it good. He did it good, and
He did it
he
really
did
good.
it good. So
Yeah.
who would have thought that even himself, he probably never thought that he was gonna be that way, that he was gonna be that good at it too.
It's crazy because you see a fight with Dong Hyun Kim, and he's like, yeah, like Dong Hyun Kim is so nice, and he was just being super respectful. And literally, the fight after, he's like, yeah, Brazil is you filthy animals.
Yeah.
Classic, isn't it, man? That's
That
what
was
really
crazy.
propelled the Colby.
I
But
remember that day.
yeah,
I
man,
perfectly remember that day.
I was watching that and I was like, holy shit, man! Like this guy is turned full heel, but I love it. Like it's entertaining. At the end of the day, MMA is about entertainment as well. It's
Yes, of course.
you gotta have that. But we asked this to all our guests. Definitely like this to answer this to you as well, Danny. So we've got Dustin Poirier. He's got his signature hot sauce. We got Connor. He's got his proper 12 whiskey. What would a Danny Chavez brand be if you had one?
Colombian is known for coffee as well.
Yeah.
And I drink a lot of coffee, even though I don't drink it the Colombian way. I've been drinking it the Cuban way. I've been drinking it because we're in Miami. We make colada. Colada is like very strong coffee. It's
Yeah.
in shots. You drink it as shots. Eh, Coffee like American, like Colombian coffee is normally they make it like a kind of like American coffee. A nice little cup. And it's a little watered down. Put a little sugar. You drink it. Whatever. Cuban coffee is more concentrated, so it's like a little cup, and then you give you like little shot glasses. I mean, not glasses,
I love that.
shot cup, like a little shots, and you just pour it and you take it, and it's strong but it's sweet.
Yeah.
But it's so concentrated that it wakes you up. You know what I mean? It keeps you awake. So I drink a lot of that. So I could probably say coffee would be like
Yeah.
a thing that Danny could do because Colombian is known for their coffee too. We're known for our coffee. So Me, I drink so much coffee, I could probably be like, something with coffee, just like that, like something like that. Something that represents Colombia at the
Colombian
same
warrior
time.
coffee, man.
It's something that I still do. Yeah, because there's a Puerto Rico say, Louisiana, he's from Louisiana, so Louisiana has always hot sauce. But they say he just does it for Louisiana, but he doesn't really eat hot sauce. That would be kind of weird. It's like McGregor doesn't drink at all.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it has to be something that represents your country, but at the same time represents you. And I think like I drink a lot of coffee. Colombia is known for their coffee. It's a good match right there.
Yeah, that's the easy one, isn't it? I forgot to ask you something. So I got to ask you about that KO tattoo, man. I've seen it a few times, across the camera. So in the debut, John and Nick mentioned, you got KO tattooed on your knuckles, and you actually said, it's fucking curse," because I didn't get KOs until the last 3 fights before. I know you had KOs, but you had the last 3 fights before the UFC is when you really started racking up that KO win. Would you say you're superstitious? Would you say you're a superstitious person?
I could be superstitious about certain things. I just said that because it was just what a coincidence, man. I never thought about it while I had the tattoos until like by the 4th, 5th fight that I was going to decision. Because I got the tattoo when I was an amateur. I got it. If I'm not wrong, I got it after my 2nd kickboxing fight. If I'm not wrong, I got it because I TKO'd the guy. I broke his nose, and he didn't come out to the 3rd round. And everybody always told me, because look, I don't punch myself in the face, so I don't know how hard do I hit. I don't know that. I don't know how hard people hit me. You know what I mean? And so people tell me that, damn, Danny, you got heavy hands, man. You gonna be knocking people out. And I'll be like, for real? I don't know how much power I really have. So then when I got my first TKO, I'm like, oh, and I had this idea. I'm like, oh, what if I tattoo knockout in my hands? And it'll be unique. Nobody really has this. You know what I mean? Nobody has KO in their hands.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, and I like to be unique. I wouldn't gotten it if I know that there's a fighter out there that had it. I never would have gotten it. So I was like, let me get it. And once I got it, I went to a bunch of decision fights. And believe it or not, I made fun of that later on. I was like, damn, man, I can't finish fights. It's crazy. And I got the power. I know I have the power. I know I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And then once my first knockout came in, then the second one after that came in. Then the next one after that, and I was like, finally, that's it. The curse is over. The curse is broken. That's it. I need to think about it no more. And it's true. Like I would say too. I dealt with a lot of wrestlers. Going into my late career, so they took my steam out a lot. I didn't really have and like I said, and early in my career, like I told you, I was such a big GSP fan that I became a little bit more of a wrestler earlier. So I didn't really use them. So like I said, my game changed. My game was opened out. Like when I was doing amateur kickboxing, of course I was just striking. Early when my first 2 fights, I was more like the striker. From my 3rd fight to like my 7th fight, I was more like a wrestler, and then I went back to like just striking. So, I feel like the change of my game had parts of why I didn't, I wasn't really finishing these guys sometimes. And props to the guys that I fought too. They were very. I never fought. I never went out there and looked for a 2-10 guy so I could fucking. Sorry for cursing. So I could like go out there.
No, you can curse what you want, mate.
Okay. And so I can't go out there and just beat him and look good and get a knockout. I never did that.
You don't rush KOs, actually. I've noticed. You're very, very, very patient.
Guys in Florida. Yeah, I fought the best guys in Florida. I didn't go out there and try to look for the tomato can so I could look good and do it the boxing way. Nah. I went out there and I fought the next guy in line, whoever oh, he's 4-0, I'm 5-1, let's go, we're good. Oh, he's 7-0, I'm 6-1, let's go, we're good. I never looked at it like, oh no, I gotta fight a guy that's 2-2. I'm already 7-1, I'm fighting a 2-2 guy. I never did that stuff. I never, the only fight I ever took like that, I was 5-1, and I fought John De Jesus. He was 4-4.
Yeah.
And John De Jesus right now is in Bellator, and he's gonna fight Kai Kamaka in Bellator.
Oh, really? Yeah, he's gone to Bellator now, isn't it, Kai Kamaka?
two of the guys I fought about to fight each other.
That's mad.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And my first knockout was against this Brazilian guy, Setebala, and he was 8-8, and I was 7-3, and we both came out of 2-year layoff, and we both coming out of 2 back-to-back losses. So it was very it was very fair. You know what I mean? Like it was fair. It wasn't like I just finished coming off a win streak and I picked the guy that just came off a 2-5 losing streak with that kind of record.
Yeah.
So I never been a fan of I like fairness. I like fairness. I'm just always been a fan of being fairness because if I win fights, I know I gotta win. Like it just doesn't feel like a winner. I don't feel like a winner when I know like, oh, this guy is 0-5.
You're meant to beat him anyway, isn't it? Like in your head, you're thinking I should have beat him anyway. You know, I should have smashed him.
But the thing is, like, what am I gaining out of this? Yes, it's just another W in my record. I get it. I just don't feel. I just can't stand people that fight people like that and they flex. I just can't stand it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And why am I gonna do something I can't stand? Like, why am I gonna go beat up? If I was to ever be put in the position, let's say, you know, because sometimes managers, you know, promotions, managers, coaches could do that to you. Just fight an easy fight. You already have a great record. You already fought good fights. Just fight this easy fight to add another win, and you're trying to get into like the big shows.
Yeah.
You know, I'm okay with people doing that sometimes because I get it. If you already fought tough fights and you don't want to have your whole career fighting tough fights to make it to the big show, I get it when you want to just pick up one more win and it's like somebody with not that much of a good record. That's fine. Go out there, win the fight, but don't be flexing.
Yeah,
the best
of course.
in the world because you beat somebody that my cousin that doesn't know how to fight probably will beat him. You know, come on, man. You know, come on. Like,
yeah, it almost comes off a bit like a bully, isn't it? You know, you're just fighting something that grow good.
It's not even bully because you're both professional. It's just it's weak. It's
weak,
you know?
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, look, I'm gonna end it with this final question, and we asked this to everyone, and you know, the guests. I think I really like this question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time, Danny? It could be, you know, Danny as a fighter, Danny civilian, whatever you prefer.
5 years, I think I'll be in the ending of my career. It'll be the ends of my career for sure. That means we're talking about 39. I'm turning 35 in 4 months, 5 months. So yeah, we'll be talking about me 35. That'll be 40. Yeah, that'll be the ending. I'll be honest. That'll be like the ending of my career. I don't see myself as a 42, 43-year-old man fighting. Maybe. It's hard to tell. Most likely, I don't think so. I think in 5 years from now, I'll be in the second chapter of my life, you know, and it has to be with coaching. It's gonna have to be with coaching because I have a guy. No, I'm a coach. I got a couple of guys. You know, shout out to my guys. You know, Alex Martinez. We got Richard Mayol. Now I got the new kid, Michael Pino. We got Christy, Brader, and Kevin Navas. You know, these are guys I coach, and then I got a group of guys that do jiu-jitsu as well. They're not really MMA fighters, but they just want to do jiu-jitsu, and I take them out to grapple too. Those are my students. Shout out to them too. You know, I see myself coaching, but I see myself too going out there and do the things I wanted to do outside of fighting that I never got to put in the time because I'm just putting in all my time in this. Like, I would like to go and travel around the world a little bit more. I would like to go and, take some classes. Like I wanted to take like, I never got to take Portuguese. Like I'm surrounded by Brazilians, but I never get to, and it is easy because I speak Spanish. So the thing is that when I speak to them, sometimes they speak to me in Portuguese and I answer to them in Spanish because I understand what they're saying. A lot of times I just don't know how to speak it. Learn different languages will be another one. I like cooking a lot, so culinary arts could be something I would like to get into just to like learn how to like do crazy dishes. Would be dope. A lot of little things, but I think like one of the main things would be me coaching the new generation, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's what it's all about, like giving back, isn't it? You know, you got coach. It's time to give back, and it's a really common answer. You know, a lot of people a lot of fighters, in fact, they just want to give back, which is fantastic.
And
But yeah,
maybe a
look,
little commentating, you know what I mean? I've been
commentating. Yeah,
working.
you did commentating yesterday, didn't you? Sorry.
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
I did a little commentating,
yeah,
and not only there, but I done commentating for Global Legion, and I do a little bit of I do a little bit of interviewing and White Lion Promotions.
yeah.
You know, so I have had already like little gigs of commentating, trying to work my way to like eventually get like a position where I could probably like do it for like never know
The big show,
ESPN
the
or the
UFC, man.
UFC.
Why not?
Yeah, of course, you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to one day see if we could actually get that done. But right now, you know, I'm just working like little gigs just to like get better at it. I feel like I'm doing great. Just gotta get better at it.
That's awesome, man. Danny, you've been great. You know, it was a fantastic interview. Yeah, thanks for coming on the show. Now I'm going to give you the final word. Where can our viewers find you? You know, any plugs you want to sponsor? Go for it, man.
Let me see. Oh man, I always forget because I hate leaving my sponsors out. First,
So I reminded you.
First though, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, DWarrior875. My Facebook got hacked, so you can't find me on Facebook. So you can probably find me, but I can't get in. So just find me there, Twitter and Instagram. Shout out to my gym, MMA Masters, my coaches, my teammates, everybody there. I'm not gonna name people right now because I don't want to leave nobody out. You know, I hate doing that. I always feel like I leave somebody out, and it sucks. All my sponsors, y'all know who you are. I'm gonna say a few of us. I got Smoothie Spot. I got White Lion Therapeutic. I got Dynamic Wellness. I got Stretch Zone. I want to give a shout out to Lomelo's Steaks. That's my new sponsor. VSL equipment. They got me they gave me my Colombian gloves. It was really dope.
Nice.
Just want to leave nobody out. Let me see. I'm looking around things. I'm looking around. See if I see things.
They're like, you missed us out, man. After watching this whole video.
But you know, my sponsors know, man. If I left one out, hey, I'm sorry, but you know, it's just I can't think of all of them right now. But yeah, you know, and like I said, and at the end, shout out to my friends and family and all the fans that are watching. Because at the end of the day, without the fans, with all the people watching, then we don't have this. You know what I mean? I don't have this platform.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just want to thank everybody that shout out to Calf Cake for coming for the interview. You know what I mean? You know, you guys do a good job too to help us to put ourselves out there. So it's not, everybody that always reaches out to me to give me an interview and everything. I appreciate that. So, thank you guys.
Thanks so much, Danny.